So let's start the session with the recap, just a small discussion about the yesterday's session. So yesterday we have just little bit discussed about our syllabus, what we are going to cover and how will be the flow, right? So as we know, our main agenda is complete. AZ-700, that is for the cloud networking engineers. And there is some prerequisites that we already know so that we can proceed with this course. So for the prerequisites, we required some fundamental knowledge about the Azure technologies, some interfaces, and some basic information about the different type of services. So for that, we are also going to cover our AZ-900. So here, just a minute, if I will share my screen to everyone. So here, we require to do this course, right? That is our 700. That is for our main networking. This is our core concern, right? So before doing this, we required some prerequisites, like some basic information about your Azure infrastructure, how the infrastructure is set up, how the hierarchy of services are there, right? How you can use the different type of services, what are the purpose of different type of services. Then you can properly able to do configure the network for these services, right? So the understanding of different type of services is required here. So for that, we are also going to cover the fundamental course that is AZ-900. In this fundamental course, you will get the fundamental idea about your Azure technologies. Where we will cover our the infrastructure, what is the infrastructure of Azure, the physical infrastructure as well as the logical infrastructure, and what is Azure, what is cloud technology, what are the different available services are present inside our Azure environment, right? What are the services model, what is identity, what is compute resources, storage resources, what are the different options for them. So all the basics, first we will cover. So we'll start with the basics. That is our AZ-900. After doing AZ-900, so if you will see the official syllabus, so there is no practical. But along with this, we will going to do some practicals with them. Like why? Because when you're discussing about your network, so you will set up the network for the virtual machines as well as, right? So it is important to know how we can deploy the virtual machines. So that's why we will also cover some practicals that are important for your AZ-700 from your 104, that is your administrator level certification. So like in Microsoft, we have different level of certifications available with us. So first we have the beginner level certification, that is the fundamental certifications. Then we have the associate level certifications, and then we have the expert level certifications. So mostly we have these three levels. And when you are talking about the AZ-700, that is an associate level certification for the network engineers. So it is good for you whenever you are working on your on-premises, you are an on-premises network engineer, and you are looking to switch towards the cloud technologies. So that is a good thing. And you are stuck in some salaries bracket and you want to upgrade yourself. So at that time, this Azure 700 will help you to properly do the things, right? So because here you are going to cover all the services in detail with the practicals also. So when you talk about the official durations, it is very less for this course. It is approximately for 7 hours. But along with the practicals, when we will do it, all the stuffs, so that will be take our 20 to 25 hours to complete this courses. Right. So first we are going to starting with our AZ-900. That is about the fundamentals. So yesterday's we have discussed about the cloud technology and the hypervisor technology. So how many of you remember that hypervisor? We have little bit discussed about the hypervisor technology. And can you tell who are new to the class? I think for whom this is the first class.
Yes, for me it is first year. So,
Yeah,
Arun,
hi, Arun. Hi, Brain. It's my first time.
Nitish. Okay. And Deb Jyoti, what about you? I think this is also first for you. Not reply. Okay. So maybe most of the of you new with this session. Okay, no issue. So the syllabus part is clear to you. What we are going to cover that I have described in short.
Yes, just a quick question from my end.
Yes.
So just wanted to know, like, will this be enough, like, based on the Azure tools that we need to go on? Like, I believe there are like a complete 2000 plus tools in the Azure. So will this be enough at this moment to add on with the resume side as well?
So can I know your goal, actually, what you are planning for? Which role you are
Um,
planning?
yeah, mostly on the Azure side. So I just wanted to go have a trial on the Microsoft Azure side
Okay.
completely. Yeah.
So you are just want to try the services and everything, right? So
Yes, yes. Like, is AI also involved? Like Azure AI is also involved.
yes, AI is also there. So can I know your current profile?
I've been into senior technical recruiter, so it's under the recruiting field that I've been into. So that
Okay.
is where I got to have go through these tools and all the other kind. But yeah, not much familiar, but yeah, I can give it a try. Like I can trace out what you can explain actually. So,
Okay. So if you say there are a lot of services and thousands and 2000 plus services here with Azure, but we have some role-based certifications here. So Azure is focusing on the role-based certification nowadays. So for specific
okay, yeah,
role, there are some specific tools that you require to use. Like whenever you are hiring for a network engineer, so you will look for these tools that are available in AZ-700. And whenever you are hiring an administrator, so you will see the administrative tools, right? So for every engineering role, there is a specific set of tools. Like if I am an AI developer, so AI related tools are help for me, right? So like that,
okay,
here we are preparing ourselves for the network engineer. So we have AZ-700 that is for the network engineer. So if you want to become a cloud network engineer, so at that time you will prefer the certifications. And
okay,
along with this, we are also giving you the fundamental certification that will cover about all the services, the most of the services about the Azure technologies. So here in this second module, if you will see, mm, so here it is telling about the compute services and computing related services, all the functions, Azure Virtual Desktop, Azure Virtual Machines, like all the compute services are there explained. All the networking related services like Expert Route, your virtual networks, DNS, all these
okay,
stuff, right? And when you talk about storage, the multiple storage services from Azure, it is covered here. The identity service that are offered by your Azure, that is covered here. So most of the services are covered here, right? And if you want to do some more things, so we have also the combinations courses, right? So after the class, you can contact the management. They will suggest you the more course. So if you want to grade idea, if you want, so you can choose the bundle. From the bundle, one by one, you will prepare for every role. So this will increase your chance to get selected. So whenever there is any type of opening, you can happily apply for that.
okay. So may I know like how many years of experience can we apply once the course is done?
Like once you have completed this course, so you can easily justify 3 to 4 year experience if you don't have, and
Okay,
you can justify it after completing this course.
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Any
Definitely,
other
yes. Thanks
point?
for that. Yeah, thanks for that. So,
Okay.
like last one question, like a lot of coding is involved, like the other Linux and DevOps and Terraform this thing.
No, no. Here it is not required for this.
Okay,
Just
okay,
all the basic configurations with the help of GUI. Along with
okay.
the GUI, you require some sort of PowerShell, just for the basic use, not for the expert level. Okay.
And understand. Yeah, thanks for the info. I just want to have a look on it as well.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yes, Nishant, you're asking something. Also, go to practice all services or just few services. All the services are free for the practice. Yeah. So if we are talking about the specifically the 700, and there are a lot of services that we are going to cover, right? So we are going to cover VNet, Express Route, VPNs, point-to-point VPN, side-to-side VPN, load balancer, firewall, everything we are going to cover. And you are asking about which is the free one and which is the paid one. So I will just clear. So most of the services that are present here, that are the free services, and you can use with your free account. And there is some, like if you talk about 5 to 10% things that requires a specific license or specific environment for that, like an express route lab. we required a third party provider for that, right? For connecting your on-site to your cloud infrastructure. So at that time, I will share how you can create a circuit and all just from the Azure portal. So what are the things required from the Azure end? I will tell you each and everything. And I will guide you through how you can implement this with the help of your provider. So I will guide you, need to contact the provider and you have to ask for the lease line. That I will share everything. So no issue regarding the labs and how much things that are possible with the scenarios. I will create the scenarios for them, the simulations for them, and with the help of simulation, I will explain. And the duration for free tier, it is for 30 days, right? So whenever you're talking about Azure free tier account, so the duration for that account is 30 days. In 30 days, you will get 200 credits, and happily you can use this 200 credits to run your all the services. Any other concern from your side, Nishant? No? Okay, that's good. So that is about the yesterday session. So let's discuss about some technical things today. So for that, I think yesterday we have discussed about the hypervisor technology. So how many of you aware about the hypervisor technology and the virtualization technology? If you have idea, so you can just raise your hand, or no idea, so you can just sit quietly. I will explain it. No idea. I think Himanshu, you are present in the yesterday's session.
Yes, I have idea about virtualization and VM, what you explained about it, like and the hypervisor one and two things. So basic things I know, which you explained things.
Yeah, can you try
And
to give a small recap to us?
yeah, actually, Prem explained yesterday about the virtualization where the VM host and where we can use the virtualization like VirtualBox and the VMware. These things are the virtual host, VM host. And one more thing is in the VMware, the physical hardware required to set up the VM. Uh, this is the thing explained by the thing. This, I think these are the things I know about it.
Okay, that's good. So because every time trying is important, right? So whatever
Yes,
you have learned, so just try, give it a try. So be it essential with the interactiveness. So
sure.
that's good. So yesterday we have discussed about the virtualization. So why we have discussed about virtualization? Because it is the foundation of your cloud technology. So whenever you are discussing about the cloud technology, cloud providers, so how they are providing you that services. So they are providing that services with the help of virtualization technology. If there is no virtualization technology, so you will not get these things. So with the help of virtualization technology, your cloud providers are able to provide you that services. Without virtualization, that is not possible, right? So what the cloud providers are doing, they're setting up their own data centers, right? So like in our on-premises infrastructure, so they will set up their infrastructure, the physical hardware, the physical connectivity between them. So all these stuffs are managed by your cloud provider. So they will do the hardware related things for you, right? So they will create their data center. Inside the data center, they will place multiple and number of servers, the storage servers, and all these servers. And they are doing the proper networking connectivity from them. They are setting up the network infrastructure, router, switches, firewalls, everything for you, right? And you are just accessing these servers with the help of their portals. So like we have the Azure portal for accessing the services that are offered by Azure. So like that, this is the Azure portal. So from this portal only, you can access all the services that are provided by your Azure. So this is just an overview of your portal. So here you can see, and there you're discussing that we have a number of services here. These are the multiple services that are offered by Azure. So you can see all the services from here. So either it is a AI ML related services, analytics related services, computer related services, So you can get all the services and you can just explore these services. And when you drag your mouse towards that service, so it will give you the small description about that service also. So you can get some basic idea about all these services. So this is the portal. And actually they have set up the physical infrastructure. So when I'm talking about the virtualization technology, this virtualization technology allows me to create the virtual versions of your physical resources. So just whenever you want to launch some server inside the cloud environment, just you will open that portal, and with the help of portal, you will select servers related to that instance. So whenever you deploy a virtual machine, a virtual server you want to deploy, so we'll use this virtual machine service that are offered by your Azure. So with the help of this service, you can easily create a virtual instance, your virtual server. And how they physically manage? So physically they are maintaining the virtualization technology, and through virtualization you will get achieve this. And virtualization just creating a simulation, the virtual version of your physical hardware. Okay. And for supporting our virtualization technology, there is one more important technology, that is hypervisor. So with the hypervisor, you are able to create these virtualized resources. So right. So virtual machine is also one type of your virtual resource. So it is just a simulation of your physical computer. Right. So instead of using physical machine, you are using the software for deploying your applications and program. And the hypervisor technology is the foundation that is supporting you to create this virtualized environment. So for that, we have different type of hypervisor. So hypervisor is technology that is responsible to create a virtual machine, manage your virtual machines, means your virtual resources for management of your all virtual resources. This hypervisor technology is responsible. So it is just doing the abstraction from the physical layer. Right. So it is performing the hardware extraction for you, and it is providing you the isolated environment for your virtual machines. So let's suppose this is my system, right? This is my computer, and this computer have some sort of configurations. So just for example, I'm drawing this box, considering this box as my laptop, and this laptop has some configuration. It have SSD that is 512 GB. It have some RAM that is approximately, let's suppose, 16 GB, and it have some processor, CPU, have some CPU that is i3 12th Zen, right? So it have some hardware configuration, hardware stuff. So how I can divide it logically, like in your file explorer. So if you will look at your file explorer, there is your disk, right? You have the hardware disk. So and you have created the different drives with the help of this disk. So if I will show you, this is File Explorer, and then we're in this PC. So you have these different type of partitions. So how you are creating this logical division? I just using the one disk, and with the one disk, I'm logically dividing it to proper isolated environment into the different disks. So this is the some example of virtualization technology. So how these are the logical division, and that is provided by your virtualization technology. Right. So just we have created the virtual versions of disk. So now all the partitions are separately treated, separately managed. So like that, in the similar way, the hypervisor technology is responsible to create your virtualized environment. It will give you a proper isolated space. It will manage the creation, management, and proper allocation of resources. Right. And here we have two types of our hypervisor, that is type 1 and type 2 hypervisors. So when we are talking about the cloud providers, so they are using the type 1 hypervisors into on their data centers. And when you talk about your normal users like us, for the testing purposes and some deployment practices and for learning purposes, we use the type 2 hypervisors. So when you are talking about the specifically about the cloud providers, they are using the type 1 hypervisor as a base in their data centers. Right. So with the help of type 1 hypervisor, they are able to provide you that virtualized environment that you are accessing through that portal. Right. So this is important to understand about the virtualization and the hypervisor because it is the base of your cloud technology. So whenever you are looking to start your career into the cloud, so you must know these basics. So just first discussing about these two types and little bit detail. So just first talking about the type 2 hypervisor, right? So whenever you're talking about the type 2 hypervisor, so you have some sort of hardware like my system. I have some sort of hardware here. So it have the processor, RAM, and like these stuff it have. And along with this, I have the host operating system. That is my Windows 10. So you can see this is my host operating system, Windows 10. And along with this, it have some applications. So you can see I have some applications. Along with these applications, I will install the hypervisor application. And with the help of this hypervisor application, I'm able to create the multiple virtual machines with me, right? That I can achieve with the help of our type 2 hypervisor. And when you are talking about the examples of your type 2 hypervisor, so we have the VMware Workstation Pro, we have Oracle VirtualBox, we have Parallel Desktop. These are the examples of your type 2 hypervisors. Next, that are mostly used in the data centers, that are mostly used by your cloud provider. That is the type 1 hypervisor. So what they will do, they will set up the physical infrastructure and inside that physical servers, what they will put, they will directly install the hypervisor. Okay. And with the help of hypervisor, they are giving you different configurations of virtual machines. And virtual machines have their own isolated space. Right. And when you are talking about the type 1 hypervisors, we have our VMware EXXI, we have Proxmox, Citrix, Hyper-V. These are the major type 1 hypervisors that we have. And this is preferred by your enterprises, like your cloud providers. And this is for the testing and deployment. Because here, whenever you are running some additional host system, so that will also occupy some resources from your system, right? So that's why whenever our main goal is to do the virtualization, so at that time we will prefer our type 1 hypervisor. So here you can take a look into it. So that will be more clear to everyone. So just this we have discussed, and this is also we have discussed. You can just again read it, so you will get it more proper idea about that.
So actually, whenever we do the simulation, we will do on the type 2 hypervisor where we will do anything simulation on our personal machine by installing the VMware and things.
Yes, that time you are preferring the type 2 hypervisor.
Uh,
So means better you are if you are putting some application hypervisor into your host operating system. So that is mostly the example of your type 2 hypervisor. So like here, if I will talk about, I do not have, but I will download for you. Like just for the illustration, we have virtual box application, right? So this is an also type 2 hypervisor. So we'll just simply install that hypervisor into a system. So it is just like installing another application. So it requires some host. So whenever you are downloading a type 2 hypervisor, so it is showing you a different type of operating system. So because for running these type of type 2 hypervisors, you require the base of any other operating system, right? And when you are talking about the type 1 hypervisor, they do not need any type of host operating system with the hardware. They will also work as an operating system. Okay.
oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, that's anyone have any other doubt related to this? No? Okay, that's good. Let's proceed further. So, as after discussing about the core technology that are using by the cloud providers, well, let's understand about what is actually cloud computing. So, this we have discussed. So, what actually it is? So, just it is an on-demand delivery of compute, storage, networking, identity, security, these type of services. So, whenever you require, so based on your demand, they will deliver these different type of services to you, right? So, let's suppose we are talking about the on-premise infrastructure. So that is not easy to get the resource on your demands. That is not a fast process. So let's suppose my manager demands me to again run one more identity server for extra redundancy. So that is not possible to quickly deploy this thing in on-premises infrastructure. So it will take some time because at first I will plan which server I want to purchase and what is the requirement for me, right? Then after gathering all these information, I will took the vendor, I will select the vendor, I will compare the prices of different vendors. Then I will place the order. Then it will take some time to get my order, right? So there are a long process in on-premise infrastructure. But in cloud computing, you can quickly deploy these things. Just as you demand it, as you get these things. So just getting all the resources is very simple. So in yesterday's class, we have seen how we can just quickly deploy the VNet, how we can quickly deploy a virtual machine. Within a few clicks, you can deploy the resources, right? So it is just an on-demand delivery of services provided by managed infrastructure. Okay. So it is provided with the managed infrastructure. So infrastructure is managed by your cloud provider, right? And it is accessible to you with the help of portals, CLI, and APIs. And you are using these services with the help of pay as you go model. And you can also say pay as you consume model. So for that much resource you will consume or that much resource you will use, you are just required to pay for that much amount. Right. So there is no type of capital expenditure here. So you will not face any type of capital expenditure with you. That's clear. So like whenever we are setting the on-premises infrastructure, there are a lot of capital expenditure with you. So and where we have the cloud infrastructure, so we do not require to pay for the capital expenditure. We can just use the services, and for that much time you will use that services. You are just required to pay for that much time only. Right. So these are some key technical points about cloud technology. So our resources are virtualized as we have discussed, and these are provisioned based on the software-defined infrastructure. And these are controlled using your IAMs. Means whenever you are managing some sort of services for authentication yourself, you are using some user account. Like in your computers, you have your user accounts. They are helps to you to authenticate yourself, right? It will gives you the proper security boundary to you. Like that here. So whenever you are using your cloud services. So you have the account. So with the help of that account, so that I have this account. So with the help of account, you are able to access these services. So like that, we have the different type of IAM roles that you can configure it with the help of identity, and you can find different type of roles. So when we comes to the identity, that we will discuss about in detail. This is the fully API driven services. So API work here in the behind this technology. So whenever you are accessing the portal, you are doing the changes here in the portal, and that going to the back to the data centers and reply is coming from root. So between this process, what is working behind? The API is working behind. All right. So this is the API driven technology. So now what we require to discuss, that is about the features of our cloud computing. So these are the major core features of your cloud computing. So let's discuss them. So here, first, let me start with the scalability and considering one example for it. Let's suppose you are a e-commerce company. Okay. So you are a e-commerce company, you have started your e-commerce company and you have created a website for your e-commerce company. And currently you are in a on-premises infrastructure, right? Okay. So you have understand that we are the e-commerce company and we are new company. So our user base is approximately 1,000 users per day, right? So the 1,000 requests are coming per day to our server. And this is the normal requirement. And future, maybe in future, the request will increase by 100, 500, 800. So let's suppose 1,000 more, right? Totally, you will observe that according to the future requirement of 1 year, 5 years, that will be a 2,000 requests per day for the server. And for that, you have purchased 1 server, right? And you have set up that on-premises infrastructure. after setting up that, so there may be some sales during some special festivals, like in Diwali we have some sales, and New Year's we have some sales. Like recently, I think there was some sales from Flipkart and Amazon, right? Like goat sale and these type of sales. So what happening during the sale? In the time of sale, the number of requests per day will rapidly increase to 1,000 to 5,000. So 1,000 to 5,000. So how we will handle this request if we are working on the limited on-premises infrastructure? So it is difficult to handle these much of requests. So our server will get down. So our website will get stopped for a few minutes, right? So, and for a few days in a year, setting up the big infrastructure, that is not a good thing. Like let's suppose hardly we are launching two sales in a year. That is approximately for the 10 days, right? And if I will consider that my request per day is 10,000 or 5,000. So that is okay for the sales period, right? Whenever there is sale in my website. But what happened about the other duration? So my resources are still in underused. I'm not using my resources properly. I'm not utilizing it properly. Right? That is the problem with me. So my infrastructure is just utilizing the services, taking my increasing my internet bill, increasing my network connectivity, and all these things. Right. So that is not a proper solution for me. So now the cloud will help you here. So cloud provides you the scalability. With the help of scalability, what you can do, according to your demand, you can scale up your infrastructure quickly and scale down when your demand is low. So that will helps you to save the cost, right? So in hardly in a year, we are launching the sales for 2 times, and it is approximately for the 10 days, right? So just for the 10 days, you will purchase the high configuration servers. You will rent these high configuration servers from our Azure. And just for this 10 days, we required to pay to the Azure, not for the entire year. So, but inside the on-premises infrastructure, if you have purchased some server, so you have to pay entirely for that server. There is no system for the rent, right? But inside the cloud environment, it is just renting the services. So you will just get paid for these 10 days when you are using the high configuration servers for these 10 days. So scaling means increasing the capacity of your machine or decreasing the capacity of your machine, right? So based on the requirement, whenever you are upgrading the capacity, upscaling and downscaling, that is the scalability. So with the help of scalability, you can easily upscale and downscale your infrastructure. So that is the one of the major advantage of using your cloud services. So scalability is very easy. And when you're talking about the scalability, so there is major two types of scalability here, right? So first, you have the scaling, vertical scalability, and second, you have the horizontal scalability. So these two types you have. And what is the difference between two types, sir? Anyone knows? Can anyone explain me about this? A little bit idea if you have, so you can share.
As per the slide, we can see if we want to increase the capacity of our servers, then the vertical things, and the working type, like any resources we have to add up, then we need the horizontal one.
Yeah, correct, Himanshu. So just whenever we have some existing machine. So according to my requirement, I have set up the existing machine. So let's suppose this is existing machine, right? And for my current requirement, I have configured some things into it. SSD with the previous example, similar things, right? RAM, 16 GB, and processor, CPU. Right, three, length, right. So this I have taken, and currently that I have observed, I'm going to launch a sale. So what I will do, with the help of vertical scaling, I can just increase the configuration of my existing server. Just it is like an upgrading of your existing server. So I can just put some extra RAM into it and extra storage and processor into it. It is just like upgrading your existing server. So in on-premises, like whenever you required some more configuration, you are upgrading your servers, and that upgradation will take some time, right? So whenever it comes to upgrading your RAM, CPU, storage, it takes some time. But inside our cloud infrastructure, with the vertical scaling, we can just easily upgrade our existing instance, existing server, right? So just whenever you are just upgrading the configuration, increasing the configuration, that is your vertical scaling. You are increasing the storage, you are increasing the RAM, you are increasing the CPU. So whenever you are upgrading your existing machine, that is the vertical scaling. And let's suppose we have the limited sort of upgradation option with the machine, right? So this family just supports maximally 2 TB of disk. So can you upgrade that server anymore? No. So at that time, what you will do, you will just purchase an additional server. So whenever you are adding some new servers or new instances, right, for handling the loads, that is your horizontal scaling. So adding and removing new servers, that is your horizontal scaling. So means this is not able to handle that much request. So for now, we have set up additional server and we will set up the load balancing policy. So the load will get balanced between these two servers or the servers that will add. So whenever you are adding a new instance, new servers, so that is your horizontal scale, correct? Now this is clear, horizontal and vertical scaling and scaling.
Yes.
Okay. Mm, Then we see this the better difference. Yeah. No, Nishan. Actually, when we are saying about the vertical scaling, so it is improving the existing infrastructure, improving the existing server, right? So you can do some upgradation into your existing server in your existing instance. And when you are talking about the horizontal scaling, so with the existing infrastructure, you will just put up additional infrastructure. So you will put a additional server. So like just I will go in the portal. On let's suppose if I have virtual machine, I have created a virtual machine with some sort of configuration, right? Mm, just for your demonstration, I'm doing it. So the Nishan will doubt will get cleared. So currently what it have some configuration like it is an existing configuration, right? So it have two CPUs and 8 GB of RAM with this machine. Okay, Nishan? And just settling up the other things, then I will deploy this machine for you. Others also can use the chat window if you are not comfortable to open up your mic. So you can also ask your doubt in the chat window. I will also looking at the chat window. So there is an option for personal chat as well as the group chat. So whatever you are comfortable, so you can also answer with the chat button also. So you can see just within a few clicks, I have deployed the virtual machine. How easy it is to manage the cloud infrastructure. So just wait for the deployment. Within the few minutes, you will get your virtual machines live. So in the terms of whenever we are discussing about the cloud, right? So everything is virtual. Connection. So this is my virtual machine that is created. And for demonstrating you, I required one more machine there. So whenever I'm talking about the vertical scaling, so I will increase the capacity of this machine itself. All right. So just I will add additional disk to this machine. Whenever I'm doing this things like that. So that is my vertical scaling. So this is my machine and it has some sort of configuration. And when I am upgrading this sort of configuration, that is my virtual scaling, vertical scalings, right? So whenever I configure this machine and add some additional disk and all these things, I will change the size and all. I will do this type of stuff. So like I can upgrade this size to this. So there is a resize button. With the help of this resize button, I am just increasing the capacity of my existing machine. That is the example of your vertical scaling. And when you have used the highest capacity of this machine, so for the example, from the B series, if I have used the highest configuration, right? I have resized this machine to the highest configuration of B series. So what happened? I'm not able to extend it more. And when this server is not able to handle that much amount of load, so what you will do? You will additionally create one more server, right? That is the normal behavior. So like whenever for supporting this server, you have created one more virtual machine, one more server. That is your horizontal scaling. Okay, Nishant. Now it is clear?
Yeah, but I have a doubt.
Yes.
What about if we increase the RAM and SSD on bare metal servers or increasing the overall VM virtual machine resources? So what we can call that thing, right? Because
So
as Proxmox, we have to install bare metal servers, right? So we have to deploy some RAM and SSD on bare metal server. So
yeah,
if we increase RAM on that, so what we call that, horizontal
we
or
will
vertical
whenever you are increasing the RAM into that
on
your bare
hardware,
metal
bare metal
server.
hardware,
Yeah.
right?
So I will just say it as an upgradation, right? So you are updating your hardware.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And this is not the cold swapping.
okay. So you are talking
The,
about only a virtual thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the cloud infrastructure. So here
Oh,
these terms we are using, and we are in the physical infrastructure when we are adding some new configuration to our hardware. So at that
mm-hmm.
time, we will think that we are upgrading our hardware.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Any other have any type of any other concern? No? Okay. So one more beautiful thing that we have inside our Azure infrastructure that we have a resource group. So whenever you want to delete your services, remove your services, right? So you can just simply remove that resource group. So all the resources that are associated with that resource group will be automatically get deleted. So here this when I have created a virtual machine, though with the virtual machine, there are some resources that must be created, right? That are also created. So just rather than deleting it one by one, I can just simply delete the resource group. So that is recommended whenever you have completed your task, you have completed your practice. So please delete your resource. Otherwise, you will get charged for these resources. Okay. So let's continue with the other features. Next, we have our high availability. Let's discuss about the high availability. All right. So whenever you're talking about the high availability, that is the maximum time of availability of your resources. All right. So let's suppose we have deployed some services. These services are running. So how much available these services are? So it is running 24 into 7, or it is facing some downtime, right? During some maintenance and any other thing. So for that, we have the high availability options with our cloud. So right. So whenever we are using the cloud infrastructure, by default, they will provide you the high availabilities, right? And there is a multiple levels of high availability. They will give you the agreement, right? The service level agreement. With the help of agreement, they are promising you some sort of availability with that, right? So here we have the availability option. And for the availability, it is preparing its availability zones, call domains, and update domains. And it have also the regional pairings, right? Giving the availability across the multiple regions. So many type of these things are taken care by your Azure for the high availability. All right. So just high availability for making the resource available for every time. That is just about the high availability. And these things we will cover in detail, right? What is availability zones, fault domains, update domains. Here, everything we have in this bit that we will cover, right? And next feature that clouds offer, it is scalability and elasticity. So scalability we have discussed, and elasticity is there. It is also a scaling, right? So we are scaling our resources. But here, this thing is done automatically. So whenever the scalability is managed automatically, that is known as elasticity, right? So here also our resources will get upgraded, right? But here the things will done automatically, not manual efforts are required here. So for that type of services, we have virtual machine scale set in our Azure. So based on the policy, your resource will automatically scale up. All right. So we can define some sort of policies. With the set of these policies, our resources will get automatically scale up and scale down. Right. So let's suppose according to the CPU utilization, memory utilization, you can set up some policies. Right here you can see whenever your system is dealing with the heavy workload, right? So the utilization of your resources will get increases. All right. So like that, wherever your virtual machine, your server have a large number of requests. So the capacity will get increased. The utilization of resources will get increased with the time. Right. So in that types of scenario, you can define some sort of policies. Like here, I will define some policy. Like if my memory utilization will goes up to the 75% for 2 minutes, then deploy another virtual machine for me automatically. That type of policy you can set up. So with the help of that policy, the scalability will automatically handled. That is known as elasticity. So based on the policy, the scalability will take place. Outscaling, inscaling, all the things can be done automatically. This is elasticity. Any confusion regarding these three? No? Okay, that's good. So move further.
Can you repeat once from like HA?
Yeah, sure. So when we are talking about the HA, that is high availability. Means for the maximum time, our resource will available to our customers. Right? That is high availability. And for maintaining the high availability, what clouds do? Azure uses the availability zones fault domains and update domain for maintaining it and how it is maintained. Like as you know, we have some reasons. So whenever we are deploying the services of Azure, so this is our Azure portal. And whenever I'm deploying some services, like suppose I'm deploying a resource group. So we have different reasons. So here you can see we have the different reasons, right? So our service will deploy it into particular region. And inside the region, what Azure is doing specifically for the high availability, it is preparing availability zones. So inside one region, it have three availability zones, and these three availability zones are synced together. All right. So they are connected. So if I will show you just for the shape. So here you can refer this image. So inside a region, you have the availability zones. So with the help of availability zone, it is maintaining the redundancy. So if you have saved something here, so it will also save this copy of the data with the another availability zone also. So like that, whenever one's zone will get filled, so your data will be online. So you are use your resources from other zone. So that is about the high availability, right? So this is about the availability zones that is taken care by your Azure. And Azure for maintaining the data center level redundancy. They have the fault domains and update domains. So like we have availability set, we have the fault domains and update domains. For this is for planned maintenance. So from with the help of these features, we are maintaining the high availability. Means for more time our resource will get available for our customer. That is saying about the high availability. Right. So high availability means the minimum downtime you will face. So if you are facing the minimum downtime, means your resources are highly available for the customers. So that is provided by your cloud provider. So the taking care of high availability is done by your cloud provider. Okay, lovely.
Okay, Prem. I'm just ask you about like if we have a HS, so we have like active and passive.
Yeah.
So like
So you can define it.
yeah, so like if we have like two HA. So we need to have in one data center, yeah, like if we have like active in like North America and passive in South America. So still they have still running or not? Like yeah, we need to like have these devices in one data center.
So it's totally depends on you. Azure offers you every type, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to then provide high availability to the resources within the data
Mm-hmm.
centers, so for that you
Mm-hmm.
would use the availability setting, right? And
Mm-hmm.
whenever you want the redundancy, high availability across
Mm-hmm.
the different availability zone, so you will set
Mm-hmm.
the availability zone option. Like when you go in virtual machine.
Because if I so in the organization, like if we have like a firewall, so these like both two firewalls like active and passive in same data center, so it will works like easily. But I never like so like one firewall it's here in another one data center and passive firewall is another data center. So it's still like how do we configure like so it's like these features available in like in cloud.
So for different type of resources, it offers the different type of availability options. Okay. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about the virtual machine, we have our
Mm-hmm.
availability zones, right? So
Mm-hmm.
inside your particular region, it will divide your traffic between the availability zones. And whenever
Mm-hmm.
you want to provide the availability for your data center. So you will use the availability set. So these are availability option for virtual machine. And we are talking about the firewall. So we have
Mm-hmm.
some regional firewalls and global firewalls. Global
Mm-hmm.
firewalls are deployed globally that works
Go.
regardless to the particular region, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
regional firewalls works into the particular region.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about this.
Oh.
And next, what do we have? We have the disaster recovery. Like you have deployed some resources inside your particular region, and maybe due to some natural calamities and all the region will get destroyed. Right, there is a big natural calamity. So at that time, all things will get destroyed. That's the problem. How you can deal with that? So for that, Azure is also offering you the global regional level pairings. So if you will see, I will show you the picture from here. It have pairing between the different regions also. So like any type of disaster can be handled by your provider, right? So just you require to choose the availability option that you want. So according to your plan, they will offer you the different type of availability. So it's up to you which availability you want to use. Just for using that availability, you require to pay some amount. So it offers you high level of availabilities for every type of solution. It have the backup service, it have the backup vaults for disaster recovery. So that type of things are present with your cloud provider, right? So you have the region level failures that you can handle. You have the geographical replications. You have your backup vaults. So these things can be help you for the disaster recovery, some type of disaster that can be helpful. Right. And next we have the fault tolerance, like servers continue with the disk failures, host failure, and red failure. So this type of things can be also ignored with the cloud provider. So they will manage a proper solution for that. So they are responsible for these things. So they will also offer you the fault tolerance. So whenever some device will get failed into your infrastructure, so you are responsible for that device, right? But inside the cloud, you are not responsible for that hardware failure. So your cloud provider will take care of all the things. Okay. So that is about your features of your cloud. So any query regarding features, hypervisors, and what is cloud? Up to this, if you have any kind of doubt, so you can ask.
Mm, like I will join the lead, so that's why.
No issue, you can ask. I'm happy to resolve the doubts. No issue.
Because like I have family emergencies, so that's why the reason I joined late. So I don't know about
Which thing you want some more briefing about?
yeah, like cloud computing and all these things before like.
Okay. So that's good. Whenever we are doing some recap for anyone, so that is beneficial for other also, because at that time others will help you to give you the recap. Okay.
Mhm,
So previously we have just discussed about the virtualization, like we are going to use the cloud technologies, right? So what is the
mhm,
base of cloud technology? So how the cloud providers are managing such things for you. So cloud providers providing these things with the help of virtualization technology. So they
mhm,
are maintaining the virtualized hardware, right? So they set up
mhm,
their own data centers, and within these data centers, they will perform virtualization. And with the help of virtualization, you are able to access these services provided by your cloud provider with the help of your portals, right?
mhm,
So inside their data centers, they are using virtualization technology. And whenever we are using the virtualization technology, for maintaining the virtualization technology, our hypervisor technology is responsible, right?
mhm.
So
Okay.
whenever we require to do the abstraction of your hardware layer for dividing the resource, for creating the resource and managing the resource, this
Mhm,
hypervisor technology is responsible.
okay.
And we have two types of our hypervisor. This is type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisors we have,
Mhm,
right? So whenever we are talking about the cloud providers, so they are using the
mhm,
bare metal hypervisor. that is your type 1 hypervisor. And directly on the hardware, they will install the hypervisor, and hypervisor will also work as an hypervisor, and along with this, it will also work as an your operating system. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
additionally, no need to install the host operating system for communicating with the hardware. So like you can use the Proxmox, Citrix,
Mm-hmm.
Hyper-V, VMware ESXi. So you can use this type of hypervisors for the type 1. That
Okay.
is mostly used by enterprises. So enterprise environments for server level virtualization that is used. And in your cloud providers are also using this technology. Okay. And next, that we use for our testing and deployment purposes. So that is the type 2 hypervisor, also known as a hosted hypervisor. So it is just like you have the hardware. Inside that hardware, you are running some operating system. Like in my example, I have my laptop. In my laptop, I'm using a Windows 10 operating system. And along with operating system, I have some applications here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
along with this application, I can install one more application, that is hypervisor application. With the help of hypervisor application, I'm able to create these virtual resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that is about the type 2 hypervisor. And when we talk about the examples of your type 2 hypervisor, we have our Oracle VirtualBox, we have our VMware Workstation Pro, we have the Parallel Desktop. These are some applications that are type 2 hypervisor. So you can just take a help of these applications. And after that, we have discussed about the cloud computing. What is actually cloud computing? If someone asks about the cloud computing, so how you can describe that, right? The concept is clear. Like we are accessing some services from the physical servers with the help of virtualization technology. That we know. So how these things are handled? So cloud computing is an on-demand delivery of your compute. You can mute yourself. So cloud computing is a on-demand delivery of your compute, storage, networking, identity, security, these type of resources. So whatever resources you want, this is a on-demand delivery. Like whatever you have some demand, you can just quickly deploy these resources. This is the on-demand delivery of multiple resources, right? Over a provider managed infrastructure. So our cloud provider will manage this infrastructure for us. And this is accessible to us with the help of APIs, portals, or CLI. And it is built like the billing functionality. It's just a pay as you consume model. So whatever resource you are utilizing, you are just required to pay for that resource only. No additional charges is there, no capital expenditure charges is there. If you are using the service for 1 hour, so you are just required to pay for the 1 hour. That is pay as you consume, pay as you go model. All right. And these are some key points that we have discussed. Like all the resources are virtualized, provision using the software defined infrastructure, control using IAM roles, like means different type of user accounts, and then these user accounts have different type of roles, right?
I just want to one question. You said like a hypervisor type 1 and type 2. So in the live scenario, like live organization, so what kind of like feature it will work on the hypervisor type 1 or type 2 mostly in the organization enterprises?
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello. Yeah,
hello.
but due to some network issue, I have disconnected.
No issue.